Hello, everybody. Welcome. Can you see me? Can you hear me? All those good things. Welcome to Friday night with me. One day I will remember. Friday Night Live, Fishy Business 233. That's what we've got for you. It's the first weekend of October. What a relief. Friday it is. Oh no, the cam is working. It is indeed. I feel very dull. No, don't clip that. I was messing around with my camera settings. I think I've turned everything down because it looked very bright. Now it looks very dull, but we'll persevere with it anyway. Hope you're well. Hope you can see me. We are kicking off this evening with a well-needed Northern Monk Infinite Fog Hazy IPA, which is 8%, so this is going to go well tonight. But it looks delicious. So, what have you been up to, good people? Have you been doing anything this week, or this weekend that is of any interest? Let me know, and we will discuss it. Other than that, for your delectation tonight, we obviously have two quizzes. It's the first week of go on, Graham. What one does it? October quizzing. We've got an eliminator, another new eliminator for you after that, as well as some potential announcements. I'll just say that for now. It does look rather dreary, doesn't it? I'm going to do some live messing around with things. Now, let's see how that works. So just talk amongst yourselves while I dick around with the filters. I try to do color correction. That's what I try to do. That better? There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? That's as much as I'm willing to dick around with it, so we'll go with that for now. Let's see if we have anyone to say hello to tonight. The Aquatic News Network. I've obviously come in when there was mid-conversation, so I don't know what's going on, but hello, Tommy. Evening from a wet and windy Wolverhampton. You should have used wild, wet and windy, surely. Get the alliteration in there, Stuart. It is bleeding mental here in Sheffield as well. It's obviously the arse end of Storm Amy, I think it is. But hey, I'm now of a certain age, which means that I'm saying things like, oh yeah, but we needed the rain. From a cold and stormy Bolton, says Lee. Nice to see you, Lee. I will be in Bolton on Wednesday this week, I think. I'll have to go over there. It's wet and windy everywhere in the UK. It is indeed. Hi from Sweden. Hi, Hans. How is it going? Mandy, hello. Dell, hi all. New beta fish. What? New beta fish aquarist. Is that where we're going for that? 3D printer love also. Excellent. I do love a bit of 3D printing. I have 3D printed some light brackets for my latest project today, which I'm quite proud of, and I may well release. So everyone else can use them. Jonathan, been a while. Nice to see you too. Apple Gals, TVP 2003. New month, let's go. Indeed it is. Audio is good. Waiting for the video. There we go. Right, let's see if we... I always thought you were a bit dull. Oh, it's nice to have you back, Brian. That's all I can say. Mandy says I look rather grey and dreary. Okay. Thanks for that, everyone. The Spiritual Reaper, good evening again. God, forget saltwater people are managing to convince to come back for more than one stream. Imagine that. Bare Bottom Branton says, happy Friday on the way to MN. I'm sure that means something in American. Minnesota? No. Is that a state? No, I don't know. Keep me entertained. I will do my best, Branton. I'm going to talk about all kinds of nonsense. Jonathan says, can anyone recommend an aquascaping shop open to the public that has a large stock of hardscape materials? I've just completed the water test in home-built 8-foot tank. Ooh, and now looking for supplies. Yes. Depends where in the world you are, obviously. Centre of England, where I am. Wharf Aquatics. They have no end of hardscape. They've got pallets and pallets and pallets of the stuff. So depending what you're after and where you are, you will probably find somewhere. So I think if you're down south, somewhere like Aquarium Gardens or something like that, it's probably your best bet. But again, if you're off to the side, that might not be convenient. But yes, if anyone knows where Jonathan should be going, that's, I mean, if you're near Sheffield, I have a few oak tree stumps of huge magnitude that I'm possibly going to get rid of. Or chop up. I haven't quite decided. Small Time Tank says, I'm working on a tank, so I'm just listening to get ready for work. No problem, I'll take all the views I can get. Yeah, speaking of views, we're doing quite well this month. The views are up. So I'm quite happy with that. And I'm interested in getting some feedback from you guys in a number of things. But let me get to the bottom of the comments and we'll talk about that a little bit. Wet and Windy from Dublin says, Del, you're allowed to say hello, Brian, you know, Graham. I did say hello, didn't I? I'm sure I did. Hello, Brian. Oh, that Brian. Yes, I get it. Do you know what I've found out today? I've tried my hardest to capture it, but I've got a wasp's nest somewhere out there. Wasps keep coming in here. You might have seen the last few videos or the last few live streams I've done in here. I've been a bit like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, bugger. Where'd that come from? But there was an almighty racket all day today. Every now and again, Brian and the little Oscar smashing into the lids. I now have lids for this tank. Woo! There's a story there as well. What the hell is going on? And it was wasps were coming in and succumbing to the heat or whatever it is that they do and landing on the lids. Brian was trying to get at them, but I'd left one of them open and a couple of wasps got in and he had them. They were still alive and everything. And he just like, I'll have that. Yum, 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 yum. So, is that a thing? Should I be worried? Is he going to get stung? Do fish get? Do they react to wasp stings? I don't know. Minnesota, oh, I got it right. Get me. Northeast, you've got Horizon. Yeah, indeed. There is quite a plethora of places that are right dedicated to aquascaping. So most places, most independent places will have sections at least, but they might not have tons and tons of Wirral Aquatics. Where did you say you were? I'm in Wales, so expecting to drive a bit. Well, Wirral's kind of near Wales, isn't it? They brought boatloads of wood and stuff down to Aqua the other week, so I know they do a lot of it as well. But if you're in South Wales, then that's probably easier to get across to somewhere else. Freshwater Ichthyology, Rebecca, hello yourself. Matt says, hey, I keep saltwater and I've been here for a year. You're right, salty Matt. Salty Matt being salty. Sorry, Matt. Wasp nests should start to be dying. Yeah, you'd think so. I've been saying that for weeks now. Trying to kill the buggers. Fish eat bugs in the wild all the time. Yeah, I know, but wasps, come on. Family man, hello. Hope everyone's well. Nice to see you. Wirral is like Liverpool. Yeah, close to Liverpool, but Liverpool's nearly in Wales. I'm not making that up, am I? So we're going to have to go into it straight away. Nope, wrong one. Yeah, so Liverpool. And yeah, then you're in Wales. So it's like that far away. And Wirral's like around there somewhere in it. I don't know exactly where it is. An area I have never really explored that much. There you go. I've noticed Mandy well, you know, Brian, if you're just not going to bother turning up for a few weeks, then you're going to have to earn your reputation back and be nice to people to get them to say hello. Wirral's like no, Wirral is basically Liverpool, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Right, so what did I want to talk about? I have several things I want to talk about tonight. Obviously, we'll try and kick off the quiz around about past, but let's go through some announcements. I should have written this down, shouldn't I? Sorry, there's something in my beer. Rid of that. Announcement 1. There will be no live stream next week. Friday the 10th of October. I will not be here, so there will be no live stream. There will be a live stream the following week. The following week, we're going to have a guest. We're going to have Mr. Bright Fried, who is, if I'm the Temu guy, he's the Blackwater guy. So, obviously, we met at Aqua, and he seemed like a nice guy, and he didn't immediately get scared off by me, so we have decided to try and do some kind of collaboration and have him on here. So he will be joining me to do a little bit of, right, you're the Blackwater guy. Let's dive into that a little bit more. What else are you into? What does that mean? How did you get that? Focus, what was it about it? All those kind of things, as well as giving you guys a chance to ask him any questions. So if you are interested, Mr. Bright, I should have links for this. If somebody has a link, by all means, stick it in the chat. Go and check out some of his videos, because he will be here in a couple of weeks. So that'll give you plenty of time to think of questions to ask of him. Because one of mine will be, I basically turned Mega Tank 1 into a Blackwater tank, and I'm doing my best to overturn that now. And I can now see all the way through it, because I've taken out a lot of the wood. So we'll have some chats about that, and that'll be good, and all things will be good. So that's no stream next week. Guest on the stream the week after that. And then we shouldn't be a million miles away from the big milestone of 100,000 subscribers. Me getting a plaque. And Fluval have been in touch to say, oh, we've noticed. Well done. So I've had a few chats with Fluval actually, but one of the things they've said is, here's a Fluval Flex for you to give away as a prize to celebrate you getting 100,000 subscribers. So they're giving me 2 Fluval Flexes. And you know how long I've been going on about bleeding Fluval Flexes and how much I want to get one and try one. So they're like, right, fine, here, you take one of the new Flex 2.0s and we'll give you a second one. You can give that away. And suggested I give it away and maybe offer it as a prize. It'll be UK only, sorry to all non-UK people. But we'll think of a competition which isn't quiz-based, which is just totally random and fair, and maybe do a giveaway related to the big 100k, where you can either just get it, I'll send it to you, or potentially, I mean, this might depend on how much of a weirdo you are, and I need to think of a nice way to phrase this for the proper announcement. We're amongst friends here, so I can just say this. One idea somebody was talking to was, why don't you go and help them set it up and scape it? And that you could get like a good video out of that. You know, I'm delivering the prize to the person, help them set it up and make it all nice and everything. So, depending on the weirdo factor, that might be on offer. Which then brings me on to my next statement. We can talk about all these things and we'll break them down a little bit more. But I've decided on a new project, a new direction of, I want to be an internationally recognized aquascaper. I've decided that that is the new adventure Aquarium Adventures will be going on. Because I'll take you through the story here. I've always been a bit meh with aquascaping. It's just planted tanks. Don't really get it. I was talking to someone earlier today, and there might be a bit of elitism when we talk about aquascaping and aquascapers. And I kind of get that. So I thought, what would be more fun than me, the bumbling buffoon, trying to break into that world and seeing if I could do it. So I've had this idea kicking around for a while now, but the thing that brought it to me was going to Aqua and seeing firsthand some of the aquascaping workshops that were done and some of the proper aquascaped tanks. In particular, I think I did a short about one of them, George Farmer's tank. That I looked at that and I was like, that is different. That is a little bit... It showed me the separation between a planted tank and an aquascape. And I thought, yeah, I've got planted tanks. That is an aquascape. But the more and more I look at it, I think I'm drawn to more of the simplistic things. And it's like with anything that's art, anything can be art if you mean it to look like that. And I'm interested in it. There's a kind of confusion going on in my head. I can't understand whether I like it or don't like it or hate it or what's going on. I love the end results. Fantastic looking fish tanks is my kind of art. I am into that. I kind of like it. But you've seen me talking about aquascaping before, and whenever I've scaped my tanks, it's always been, I've got some rocks and I've got some wood and I've got some plants. Meh, 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 meh. Nah. And I've read the books, I've watched the videos, I know there's a process behind it all, but it's never really got through. And I've always fallen back on that. Just dick around with it until you get something that looks all right. So I want to try and do it as a bit of a. I mean, there's a. This is a daft idea. There's that element of it, but also, can I break into that world? And then, how do I know I've broken into that world? What does it mean to be an aquascaper? So I've stupidly, and my working title in my head is a stupid. I'm going to become an internationally renowned aquascaper. So the question I'll be asking is, what does that mean? Do I need to win a competition or be in a competition or place at a certain level of competition? Do I need to get my pictures of my escapes published somewhere? Do I just need to be paid by someone to do an aquascape? Do I need to go and do public workshops? Or do I just go aquascaper? Me, aquascaper. Like Graham Kerr, aquascaper. I'll change my profile picture. So rather than Aquarium Adventures, it'll be Aquarium Adventures dash aquascaper. And then eventually I'll be an aquascaper. So I'm interested in your thoughts, and you all get a chance to be in the video because I'm going to cut this bit out of the video or into the video. I'm not going to use that bit because that was gobbledygook. I'm going to use this bit of the video. Start again. I'm going to use this bit of the live stream in the actual video of me saying to you guys, what does it mean to you to be an aquascaper? Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be an internationally recognized aquascape. That's just to give it a good clickable thumbnail. Does it any of those things? It could be anything else. It could be like Takashi Amano was famous for certain styles, and some people have certain. They only do like Dutch style aquascapes or nature style aquariums, or some people will only do hardscape and they don't do plants, and some people will say, well, unless you've got certain plants. So there's all different styles and stuff. So you just have to pick one of them. Can you do them all? I've got an idea of what I think it means, but I'm famously wrong all the time about things. So I'm interested in what your thoughts are on what that might be. And I think it would be a good series of videos to, even if I ultimately fail, which, let's be honest, will probably happen, breaking down some of the, if there is a snobby elitist mentality to it, we break that down a little bit. Or if nothing else, we all kind of figure out together the basics, what are the building blocks of doing a good aquascape. So that's my question to you. So we'll come back to that in the chat in a little bit. There's my thoughts. My take on aquascaping is do a tank 1 month later, redo it. I mean, there is an element of that. So if you're going to be a YouTuber aquascaper, then you need content. So that's going to be a different style to someone who's just an aquascaper. So you either end up like someone like, whether it's MD or Geordie Scaper or one of these guys where you have to have a studio because you have to have a lot of tanks to maintain the level of content, to get different things out and get content out. Or you could be someone like George Farmer, who doesn't have a studio or anything and has a couple of tanks at home that are beautiful, but goes and does talks and gives presentations and maintains tanks for clients and all that kind of thing. Or somewhere in between, I don't know. So there is a bit of it where you can, so like I say, I've read the books, I've watched the videos, I've watched George Farmer videos, I've got his book, I've watched MD Fish Tanks, I've watched all these other ones, and I kind of get it. Yeah, there's a building block. You want a flow. You want make sure you're viewing it from a certain direction. And I get all those kind of things, but I always end up with something that I'm happy with. But when I saw MJ Aquascaping and George Farmer and people like that doing their aquascapes, I was a bit like, yeah, that is good. I mean, not so much the workshops. I don't want to say this because I have asked some of them to comment on this, but I think it's different seeing something in a workshop because it's fresh and it's new. But seeing some of the grown in examples kind of make me go, yeah, that is nice. I cannot poo poo that, and I do often poo poo things, and I cannot poo poo that. So that's kind of what it is. Where I'm coming from. New plants would die in a week if they could. Yeah, don't be one of those people who sets up a temporary habitat with stressed out fish and claims to be a celebrity. Hey, if it works. I mean, I'm even thinking about almost like what do they call it when you have it in a shop, like an aquascaping dojo, where you can like mess around with different rock, plants, and substrate combinations. If I could set up something like that here, so I can just try lots of different styles and see what I like, and then maybe only commit to 1 or 2 tanks, because I have, over the last year, I have drawn down significantly on the number of tanks that I am running that actually have fish in. So I could bring back a few as dedicated scape tanks, and obviously I could aquascape my actual tanks with fish in them. Rescape them properly and all that kind of thing. But I need to get into it properly. I think I'm the kind of person that when I do get into something, I will research it to the nth degree. I will look up everything there is to look up about a thing and just fully immerse myself in it. And while I haven't done, by osmosis, I have taken in some of the information about the big aquascapers, but I've never been like, oh yeah, right, I'm going to get into this. So I don't know if I can force myself to do that, but I just want to get better and see if it's something for me. And obviously I do like to make videos about things, and I think that would be a fun, daft project to try. It's great to be inspired by other people in any hobby or sport. I think so, and again, not to beat on about about this, I think this hobby can be quite good at that. Again, visiting Aqua with all my nerves about doing that kind of thing. Everybody I met there was lovely, and one of my fears was everybody I would meet would be up their own arse and horrible because we're all competitors. Or not. None of that happened. It was all, oh, I love your stuff. Oh, I love your stuff. No idea who you are. Whatever it is, how can we help? Let's talk about things that we can do to lift each other up. That whole rising tide lifts all boat thing was very much an observation. There wasn't any of the, I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to talk to them. So maybe the elitist thing is that same misconception from me from being on the outside and not getting into it. I don't know. So it's an unknown, and that's why it's an adventure. Unconverted plants and plants that have no chance in the, yeah. I mean, you know my record with plants. I almost always steer towards the easier side of things, the hardier side of things. So again, that will be something to try, and I probably will make mistakes as well. Or will you develop a recognised style? I don't know, like a Graham Kerr style tank. That'll do. That's my style at the moment. Look at Tom Ryan, world rank number 9 from the. So one of the things I was looking into is, well, what competitions do people go to? So there's the I've forgotten the name of it. International Planted Tank, something, whatever. And there's a few UK guys that got quite high up. And again, they are fantastic tanks. A long way away from where I am. Jersey Dave, hello. Aquascaping's how to spend time being busy in a store so you don't have to look busy doing nothing. Yeah, I mean that's my previous relationship with aquascaping. I'm trying to move on it a little bit. The kind with corals. Well, I guess the marine world has aquascaping as well, with mostly precariously balancing rocks and then sticking corals to them. But in our world, the freshkeeping, that's a word, the freshwater world, it's about, and again, here's the difference. So sometimes I've heard some people say aquascaping is about an ecosystem. So it's about building something. And is it just something that it means something different to every person? So some people will say it's not a proper aquascape unless it's contributing to an ecosystem. Some people will say it's not a proper aquascape unless it's imitating nature in some way. Then even to dig down further than that, there'll be people who say, yeah, but you have to imitate nature in this way, not that way. You know what I mean? Or you can't have African and Asian plants in the same tank. Even I've had that comment before, and I'm like, this is not a submission for best tank in the world. That's a nice plant, and so is that one. So I put them next to each other. So there's all these different things which I don't understand what the rules are. I think I saw something there, which is something I think, yeah, Stephen there. Be the anti-scaper, learn what the rules are and do the exact opposite, because that could be a thing. That might be quite interesting. Because I've done that in the past. I can't remember what video it is, but where there's often a talk of you can have an island aquarium, so the focus is in the middle. You can have a convex, a concave, or a triangle. So that's your kind of, these are the recognised scapes. Anything outside of that is either going to be a Dutch style where it's just cram in plants, or it's going to be a Iwagumi, like all the rocks have names and have to be in certain positions and all that kind of thing. But I have some really favourite tanks that I've done my chuck things in, mess around with them for a bit and see what happens. And been really happy with that. And that doesn't necessarily fit into any of those styles. And because I'm not an aquascaper, I can't claim that was on purpose. But at the same time, I can claim that I like it. So why isn't that allowed? You know what I mean? I think there's lots of avenues to explore here. It means you're interested in the design and appearance of your aquarium, but also focusing on how the plants and hardscapes and plants affect your fish and animals. So yeah, that's a good definition. I'd love to know if everyone feels the same, or we have some outliers or different views on that one. Brian says, I would love to salt water. It's way too complicated, I think he's going for. I don't think salt water is necessarily way too complicated. I think it's, the thing that put me off was it was a faff. There's definitely more steps to it. And like, I'm doing a water change, I can just stick a hose in and refill it, and that's my water. It's changing. Whereas I don't need to mix salt and compare levels and all that kind of stuff when I do it. But it's not way more complicated. I went to art college and I still struggle to explain it. Aquascaping is like garden design to me. It's long term, but not actually practical long term. Yeah, I know what you mean there, because it doesn't look its best until it's had time to bed in. And a lot of that time while it's bedding in, it's terrible. And the more impatient of us, maybe that is, yeah, different. Just follow MD. And that's not a bad shout. There are people who make nice tanks, and that is how you learn. I've often said, right, I'm happy to admit I'm not any good at aquascaping, but I used to not be very good at anything. And the things that I'm good at now is because I practiced them and I read up about them and I tried it and I got better and I got better and I got better and then I became good. So I'm not put off because I'm not good at it yet. There's always scope to get good at it. YouTube aquascaping isn't competition. I've had half a beer and I can not speak. YouTube aquascaping isn't competition aquascaping though, because the aim, I think, is very simple appeal. Like Tate Modern versus popular art. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Although I would say that I'm going to have to look. Is it IALP, something like that? What's it called? Because they do have a website. IAPLC, that's what it is. The International Aquatic Plant Layout Contest. So this is like a year-long process, if what I looked up, I'm remembering that correctly. And the website is the slowest website in the universe, so it'll take a while before it actually loads. Where you have to sign up for it, and then you've got so many months before you can actually submit your picture, your final picture of what the thing is, and there's various rules about what the pictures are going to be. But if we look at some of the past works, for instance, there are some that I would say is definitely what I would class classic competition aquascapes, where they are meticulously maintained and detailed. You can tell hours, weeks, months, years of effort has gone into doing these things. But there's also ones that seem very simple and achievable, fresh almost. So let me show you, for instance, things still not working. So this was last year's winner. I mean, these are just, they are amazing. But at the end of the day, I mean, how hard would it be to try and recreate something like that? So that was an angle I was thinking of, because could I go down the route of picking out my favourite bunch of aquascapes from, whether it's from YouTubers, from competitions, from whatever it is, and trying to recreate them, even if it's just my version of it, or a nod to that type of aquascape. I'd love to see some of these up close as well, because I think the way that they're filmed, or the way the pictures have been taken, might add things to it. It's something that you're like, whoa, this is actual art. It's amazing. But the further on you get, the more achievable, or the more recognizable, maybe. Like, I don't want to be the guy that says, "Well, that was quite simple," but because it's obviously not. But that seems to be at a different. It still looks like a landscape that you might see, but it looks like a different level to maybe 1, 2, or 3 back. Like, that's completely different. And I'm not saying it's one's better than the other, but some of them look more achievable or different, and some of them I just don't like that one. Not really, not feeling it. I'm not getting it. But the further, so there's the Tom Ryan one that we were talking about earlier, the Golden Hour. And again, you can see that as a vista, if that's the right word, that's amazing, and that's probably very different to the kind of thing you would see MD do, or someone that you might say is an aquascaper on YouTube, or that kind of thing. And for good reason, because I think you have to maintain this for a certain amount of time without sharing it to any social media. So that it just wouldn't work for somebody whose line of work was social media. And it's also very different, because a lot of the things a YouTuber might do might be geared towards how to do something, whereas if this is your art, you're not necessarily going to want to constantly be making tutorials of, this is how you can copy me. And, you know what I mean? You wouldn't get like all the biggest artists in the world having workshops on how to create what they create, because at this level it is art. So there are rules, like all rules of design, like there's rule of thirds, or the thing with the squiggly lines, which I can't remember the name of. they can be applied very differently to different people. Like this one, for instance, I think that's amazing. Some of these are just like, they take my breath away. I don't understand how some of them get. I would hate to be a judge, is what I'm saying, because like the top 50, I'm like, wow, amazing. I really like this one as well, the way they have this swirly bit over here, and how you got little gaps at the top that's letting little patches of light through to some of these little low light plants down here. And some of them aren't great for the plants because they're keeping plants that want to be big and bushy down, and they're like stressing plants to get them to act in a different way. So it's not all about, oh, I love nature, man. Like that one just looks like somebody's let some Java Fern Trident go mental, or some Junkish Rippins or whatever it is. Let's stick this on everything. So, and now we're getting into the more what I would call YouTubey. Like that's kind of achievable for a YouTube. That's what you might see in a YouTube tutorial about how to do an aquascape. Oh, we're going to have these big rocks, and they've all got names, and then in conflict, this one rock's going to be going the other way to give a little bit of drama to the piece. And some long plants at the back, and some short plants on the carpet. Done. Again, this is going to be way more. Imagine I meet this guy one day, and you're like, oh, you're that dickhead who said my stuff was easy. It's obviously way more important and way more intricate than any of that. Some of the things I've been reading is people go on like month-long missions to find the right bit of wood and the right stone and things like that for their scape because they have it in their mind already when they haven't even put a grain of sand in a tank. They already know what they want it to look like and spend months climbing mountains of Tibet looking for the right stick. I can't see I'll ever be getting to that level. And that is just a bit poncy if you're at that level, I think. Again, this one, YouTubey. That's your classic Iwagumi. Don't remember the name of all the stones at the moment, but stick the stones in and some grassy plants. Lovely. Absolutely would have that in my house, but it's nowhere near as intricate in my mind, and I could be wrong about this because I've not learned any of these things yet, as something like this or that. So is that just me showing that I prefer one style over another, maybe? So there you go. We could do this all night, couldn't we? Maybe we should. Maybe not. I'll just show. We do have camera 2 on the go. So if you want to see the Mbuna tank, we have that option as well. So I'm a bit behind in int comments. It's like gardening. It is a little bit. MD is amazing. However, the tanks he produces are with hundreds of pounds worth of free plants that an average fish keeper can't afford. That is very true. But if you think about it, the average fish keeper, it's only sustainable for him because he's getting all these plants for free, but the average fish keeper is only doing it once. So maybe he can afford hundreds of pounds worth of plants. So the average fish keeper, again, it's one of these things because an average isn't an average. But there are fish keepers who wouldn't bat an eye at spending thousands of pounds on some fish. So by that same logic, there will be some fish keepers who don't bat an eye at paying thousands of pounds for plants to fill the one tank they've got in their house to make it look amazing. So yes, if you want a planted tank, and I guess even people like MD will do this, where they say, I want a planted tank and I want an aquascape, but I want it on a budget. He will have videos for that, and there will be videos for that. Like the Iwagumi ones, you can propagate your own plants and build something over time and all that kind of stuff. it's definitely, there's horses for courses and there's options around all these things. You need a bigger fish room, definitely. Pardon me. MD's tanks to me are nice, but like many popular aquascapers, they aren't for the fishies. And I guess that's probably a fair comment. That there's probably two sides to that. There's one is, what's your priority? Is your priority the plants and the scape and the look, or is the priority the fish and the fish welfare? And those two don't always have to conflict, and I don't think they do always conflict. And I would say he's probably trying to pick the right fish to complement the right scapes, rather than, oh, he just doesn't care about the fish. I don't believe anyone is doing that. But you will have your priorities. So, I mean, let's be fair. All of us compromise at some point. Brian, I'm waxing lyrical about how great I am because I bought a brand new tank for him. He's got 7 feet of fish tank to explore. He should have 20 feet, really, shouldn't he? So there's always going to be something better you can do. And some of them don't explore. So I had a kind of sneaking desire that somebody would be ill or something at Aqua, and they'd say, "Oh no, we need someone to fill in and do an aquascaping workshop," and I was like, "I'll be there." Hand straight up, I'll do it. I really just wanted to go up with one stick, a bag of sand, and a stone. Just go, psh, 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 plant done, aquascape. Come at me. What you got? Because there is an element of ponciness about aquascaping, which I think it's something I want to explore to see whether that is there, or do I end up becoming the ponce because I get into it and it's not really ponciness, it's just enthusiasm, which I poo-poo as ponciness. I don't know. That's why I think it's kind of quite exciting for me. Upside downscape with the light on the underside. I have seen that. That's not. I imagine you were joking with that, but I have seen someone do that. Two different ways. Someone who had they had fabricated acrylic pieces to go on the base of the tank, and all the substrate and everything went through these portals, if you like, and underneath they had lighting come up from underneath to do. You remember that cave one that we showed you a minute there? It was a bit like that, where they had a cave and the aquascape, and the portals of light shone up onto the underside of the cave, and they had. It's amazing. It was great like that. And then other ones who have literally taken like pond lights and submerged them in the tank, pointing up at the rocks to give them, you know, when you see like buildings and mountains are like floodlit from the bottom up, it just gives a really different look like that. And again, it was really cool. Too expensive. Even when we did a budget version, it was well over 1K for a small tank. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely do it on a budget. I mean, for instance, aquariumadventures.co.uk, you can get a plethora of plants on there for much less than 1K. Link in description and all that. So it's all about what you put into it. Like, you can do that with any hobby, can't you? You could take up golf and you could spend 200 quid on an old set of clubs, or you could spend 2 grand on one club. Get into your cars, you'll end up burning. May as well just set fire to £10 notes. Graham could be the true Scottish budget scale. I could be. Maybe that could be my niche. I don't know. Right, we're way past quiz time. Uh-oh. Sorry. So, while I find the link and paste the link, I think it will be an interesting social experiment, if nothing else. I think I will learn some things and maybe feel differently. One of the reasons I want to do it is I think I'll feel differently when I come out the other side of it, which will be a bit of an interesting adventure and project to do. Um, so, do you think it's a good waste of my time? Should I include me coming and scaping the tank that a lucky giveaway winner was to win. So if you get your Flue Valve Flex 2.0 from Aquarium Adventures big giveaway, would you like me to come along and give you the first ever potentially public aquascape from Aquarium Adventures? Does that make me an aquascaper? Could that be it? Challenge done. Move on to the next thing. Who knows? I've put the link to the quiz. As always, it is a mix of fishy questions, current affairs, random nonsense, and anti-American rhetoric. I think that covers all the bases this week. Right, let's see if we can catch up a little bit. Have we all hit the like button? Have we? I mean, it's time to do a little bit of admin. It's free. You don't have to pay to join here. I mean, if you do want to give all the super chats and all the all good things, is all welcome. But a wee like, a wee comment just to say hello, that you're here. It's all we really need. And I'd be ever so grateful if you'd just go and watch some of my videos. I mean, not that I'm keeping track or anything, but I'm now daily monitoring how many views I've had in the past 28 days. Now when you go into YouTube Studio and it tells you how many views you've had, I think I might be on some kind of record. My highest ever views. So go and watch some of them. Have you seen Sydney Reefer setups? Spiritual Reefer. Have you seen? I saw he's a nice. Oh, it's gone away. Oh, I've missed it. I am far behind. Oh my god. Right. Okay, we're gonna have to do some speed reading, which is never a bonus for me. You need to be invited to Aquashella, then you've made it. That could be it. I need to get invited somewhere. I was trying to convince Fluval to go to next year's Aqua and then take me and pay for my hotel. I might have convinced them to go, but I'd work to do on getting me to be a brand ambassador properly. Does art have rules? So should aquascaping have rules? No, that is an interesting question. Maybe that's a... Graham, remember this. Somebody clip this and send that to me. That's probably worth a video in and of itself, and that kind of speaks to the earlier of saying find out what the rules are and then break them, because I think that's probably what a lot of artists would think they should be doing. Maybe art has guidelines, and it's our interpretation and application of those guidelines that makes the true art artistic. God, I am sounding more and more poncy by the minute. Navy Nige, where do you stand on TARDIS ornaments? Love it. Who doesn't want a crashed Millennium Falcon, TARDIS, Attack Walker, submarine, helicopter, or SpongeBob SquarePants? Hey, if you like it, maybe that's all that counts. Like the Flue Valve Flex, I was talking to my daughter and I was like, oh, I'm getting this new Flue Valve Flex 2.0. Love these tanks, but I've not really got anywhere for it that shows it off properly, so how about we upgrade your tank with it? She's like, oh yeah, great dad, yeah, great idea. Can I have my pink gravel now? So gutted. And she's not getting her pink gravel. Atat superior. Marine is just different. It's not more complicated or like exactly. It isn't. It isn't. Therefore, faff. That was my. It's definitely more faffy. It seemed to be, from my point of view, the same piece of technology with the word marine in front of it, like marine light rather than just light. You get to charge an extra 150% for it. Marine pump, so much more, and it's the same model of pump that I use in my tank. Well, why is this? What? I aquascaped my small 2-foot freshwater tank. It took me 2 weeks, but I'm really happy how it turned out, and I'd like to do more. And that's exactly what I want to do. Promote that side of it, that it is. Ideally, I would come through all this, win world champion aquascaper somehow, and then declare it all fooey, and that if you just make something you like, you're an aquascaper. That's the ideal. Oh god, I'm going so slow that the chat's moving off the screen and I'm missing everything. Right, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to just go look at number 30 for... Yeah, that was the one we ended up on, wasn't it? That's what I mean. That just seems achievable. And, dare I say, a little bit untended. Like, a lot of them are so meticulously maintained that every blade of grass is the same height as the one next to it, whereas that looks more natural, but just different. I used to think I could do something at least half that cool. Then I tried and lost all those delusions. I am not an aquascaper. I'm barely an aquatic gardener. I know, and I'm going to. I feel exactly the same way, and I'm going to film myself trying. So guess how nervous I feel. Good evening, Graham. You meant Fibonacci spiral. I did mean Fibonacci. Pretending like I knew that. Yeah, this swirly thing. Yeah, I kind of knew that. I would not have guessed that in a million years, but that's what I was going for. Another. So this is the Aqua Crew, so the Spiritual Reefer and the East Coast Reefer. I had the pleasure of spending an evening with them when we were down in Aqua. Nice to see you. The golden ratio thingy me bob, that's more my level, yes. A lot of the photography rules seem to apply here, and I think there is something about that, because obviously photography is a big part of aquascaping in that most competitions are judged by photography, so you have to be a good photographer, because even the best scape in the world with a wonky, out of focus, poorly white balanced photo, never mind the composition rules, is not going to get you anywhere. Right. Last chance to join the quiz. There are only 19 people in the quiz. What is going on? Is it because I slagged off the Americans? We'll start it very shortly. Very shortly. Right. I was going to... Scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. Paul Morris says, now Brian is his own gaff. Do you think he should have a ladyfish to share with it? I'm not entirely sure Brian isn't a lady. I've just decided not to think about it in case I've misnamed them. I would hate to misgender a fish. Bubbling Fins, good evening. Nice to see you again. I say meet a bunch of social media aquascapers and decide if you want in on that culture. Maybe that's it, yeah. But of the ones that I have met, again, they were lovely. I mean, I spent all of 10 seconds with MJ Aquascaping and they called me the Timu guy, but in a very nice way. I've had nice conversations with George Farmer. I've had nice exchanges of messages with MD Fish Tanks in the past. I've had good talks with the Aquaman, the Aquascaper. And again, I've not really met anybody in this hobby other than the obvious that I've not thought, what a nice person. Every other person has been fantastic. And even the one that was a dickhead, I'm like, he's not that bad. He's just a dickhead. Right, are we ready? Are we ready? It's almost quiz time. I'm sorry, I'm going way past all these comments. You've been too talkative for me tonight. I've not had a chance to catch up, but we are going to pile in tit quiz. If I remember what button it is, I need to press to pile in tit quiz. It's not working again. There we go. Brianna, that's what we might have to call him. Yeah, indeed. Right, good luck, everybody. Bit of fun. Start the countdown. Remember, read the questions, pick your answer. May or may not win a prize. We're starting fresh this month. Oh no, we decided we weren't doing prizes anymore, didn't we? Right, good luck. Question 1. What is the name for these ornate traditional beer drinking mugs often used at Oktoberfest? Stein, Booty, Fister, or Floggard? Stein, Booty, Fister, or Floggard? Kind of want to say UR after every one of them. What do we think it is? We think almost exclusively that it's Stein. Because it's Stein. Should we shame the person who thought it was a Floggard? Oh, I can't. It's not telling me who the question. You're saved from the embarrassment. Fastest finger was Jack Tank, who got that with 91 points still on the board. So remember, the faster you answer, the more points you get. Oh, there it's showing you up, the spiritual reefer. Oops. Question number 2. How much did YouTube content creators contribute to the UK economy in 2024? Now, this was something that was published this week. Certainly wasn't me contributing all this. Is it 22 million, 2.2 billion, 222 million, or 2.2 million? Oh, a bit of a mix, but the majority are correct. It is 2.2 billion. So YouTube content creators contributed 2.2 billion to the UK economy last year. It supported 45,000 jobs. As an all-party parliamentary group is being launched to represent them. There you go. Who knew? YouTubing might be a proper job one day. Zenny got that one. Jack Tank got that one. Applegal, Stevie P, Laurie Carey Day, and other people. How much of that money was in taxes? I think all of it is pretty much what they're saying. Or in wages or paying other people to work on things, I guess. Oh, Mandy, you've just made me realise I haven't started my thing, which I can't remember what it's called. Me being all professional. If you remember, if you type in !75, you get your member bonus of adding 75 points to your tally. You didn't type it wrong, Mandy. I just forgot to start the chat bot that monitors it. So I will now go in and give you your 75 extra points. I have had a beer, so just to be sure, I'm going to use a calculator. So your 169 becomes 244. Applegal is adding her 75 as well. All right, hang on. Got
what
some
do points make?
prizes.
Prizes!
We've got some admin to do here. Applegal, 161 plus 75. 236. You know, if I wasn't on camera, I'd be able to do this in my head, but I'm not stupid honest. Right, question number 3. What is aquatic plant Microsorum terapus better known as? Is it Java fern, Amazon frogbit, water sprite, or giant valleys? Aquascaper. Salty guys are all going, what? Eh? What is it better known as? You think it's either water sprite or Java fern? It's just Java fern. Of course it is. Zenny racing into the lead. Nearly 100 points ahead. We move on to question number 4. Which of these is not a zodiac sign associated with autumn months? Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, or Virgo? This counts as a topical question because it's autumn or fall for my American chums. What do we think? Beer number 2 this evening is Hazy Faced Assassin. Splashed out and went for the expensive beers and Morrison's tonight. Most of you going with Taurus? Is that all the Taurians? Taurans. Taurusans. Because you're right. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio fall on the months of September, October, November. Taurus is between April and May. Oh, storm's getting nasty for Rebecca. Hope you don't get blown away. People in Scotland are going, it's just a bit of wind. Zenny remains in the lead. Laurie Carey Day in second place. Jack Tank in third. Question number 5. Oktoberfest is the world's largest celebration of A. German dancing, B. Folk music, C. Beer, or D. Hamburgers. Now, if we're pushing out for the expensive beer, that is not as nice as I was expecting. Oh, I hate it when they put vegan friendly on beer. Why is that what unvegan friendly things are going into normal beers? Are the beers made of pigs? I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting distracted now. Is it German dancing, folk music, beer, or hamburgers? Almost everyone going for beer. Of course it's beer. Well done, everyone. Question number 6. Who sank the putt to win golf's Ryder Cup this year for Team Europe against the pathetic Americans? Sorry to all Americans. Was it John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Matt Fitzpatrick, or Shane Lowry? Exactly, Dale. Hops, barley, yeast, water. What else? What non-vegan things are going into other people's beer? I like this. So this image is them in the locker room afterwards, all chanting, "Are you watching Donald Trump?" I love it. I love a bit of that. What do we think? 11 going for Rory McIlroy, 6 going for Shane Lowry. There's 6 golfers because it's Shane Lowry. Tiny sports ball. Yes, Stephen, just for you. Oh, the top 3, 4, 5, 6, all missing out. Navy Nige, Family Man getting it. Brian, Doug, Spiritual Reefer, Salty Matt, and Texas Tom all getting some points on that one. Question 7. What type of creature is a chapeline, which are common taco fillings in Oaxaca, that word, Mexico? Oaxaca? Oaxaca? There's a way to say this that I have not mastered. Oaxaca. Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. That's not how you pronounce it, surely.
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. Oaxaca. Sorry. Is it a cicada, a grasshopper, a caterpillar, or a cricket? You mostly think that it's a grasshopper. It is. It is a grasshopper. Zany gets it. Navy Nige gets it. Kate gets it. Moves into the top 3. It's a Mexican delicacy. Are you laughing your ass off at my pronunciation of Oaxaca? Or hers? She made the sound I would make if I tried to eat one. Question number 8. What is the big aquatic show held in the Netherlands soon called? Not was it soon called. It's being held soon. What is it called? I apologise for the grammatical errors in my question phrasing. Is it Paludarium? Is it Aquarium? Is it Terrarium? Is it Vivarium? Ooh, you think it's either Aquarium or Vivarium? It's Vivarium. Debating going? Oh, I was debating going as well. I kind of got a half-hearted offer from I read into it there was a half-hearted offer. A brand asked me if I was going or if I'd be interested in going. I was a bit like, well, if you pay for me to go, I'm interested in going. I'd love to go. Yeah. Apparently, not only because, but one of the main reasons is this is apparently the last one ever, and it is meant to be epic, huge. Question number 9. Over what world's capital would this flag featuring an eagle devouring a serpent be flown? Is it Mexico City, Buenos Aires, Brasilia, or London? Are there any cafes near the show I might go? I mean, I might get sidetracked because if I was flying, you'd fly into Amsterdam and it'll go horribly wrong then. I've debated going a little. Someone I know is speaking. Maybe we should just like hire a bus. Road trip. What do we think? We think it's Mexico, mostly. Because it's Mexico. Well done, everyone. Most people getting that one. Stevie P and Laurie Carey Day missing out on that one. I'm sure every city, London has a flag. I think every city does have a flag. I think it's like one of the, well, in the UK anyway, I think like if you're a city, you have to have a cathedral and a flag. That might not be true. I'm sure it does. The city of London does have a flag. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen that. An upside down cross on it. Question number 10. Remember, this is your gambling question, so you have to wager an amount of your points if you want a chance to win some points. You don't wager anything and get the question right, you don't win any points. But you don't lose any points if you get it wrong in that situation. So, it's up to you. Here comes your cryptic clue. Fancy a fishy wager? That means this might be a fishy question. Who knows? Is Graham about to murder some Latin names? Bristol's flag is a unicorn, my favourite animal. That's Scotland's national animal, is the unicorn. Question 10. The common goldfish belongs to which family? Cyprinidae, Loricaridae, Pseudochromidae, or Cichlidae? Cichlidae. Oh, I'm going to start a campaign to start calling cichlids chichlids. Press the wrong one. No, the done thing round here is you say, "Oh no, my cat stood on my keyboard." There's people I know who are allergic to cats who have used that excuse. What do we think? 12 of you going for Suprini Day, 1 for Lorry Carry Day. It's not Lorry Carry Day. I mean, we should all know it's not Lorry Carry Day. And 4 for Stochromy Day. I'm just saying this because I've practiced saying these names all day and I've had 2 beers and I'm still able to do it. 2 for Chichliddy. Anyway, correct answer is Suprini Day. Of course it is. Zenny's in first place. Brian! So I need to stop sounding so surprised when Brian does well. Brian's in second place, of course. Kate's in third. Well done. Question number 11. What is the fear of gourds and pumpkins called? Is it triphobia, agrostophobia, pomophobia, or cucubritophobia? Cucubri. That sounds a bit like curcubri. Or, never mind. Cucubritophobia. It's one of them. Lisa would like her 75 points. I will add them on the next break. What do points make? Prizes! What do we think? We think... Oh, look at you clever buggers. It is indeed D. Cucubriphobia. Cucurbitophobia. Derived from cucurbita, the Latin name for the gourd family of plants, the fear of gourds is known as cucurbitophobia, or a word pronounced similarly. Though very rare, someone with that affliction might feel anxious or uncomfortable around common fall decorations. Prizes! Stevie P wants points as well. Right, okay. I will show you the current standings while I find both Lisa. Mona Lee is on 537. Is now on 612. And Stevie P is on 790. Sure, I could work this out on my own. I'm going to go with 865. 790 plus 75. 865 indeed. There we go. Question number 12. What is the oldest animal species still alive today? Is it the horseshoe crab, the jellyfish, sea sponge, or the lamprey? I will clarify this. What is the oldest animal species still alive today according to the website I looked at earlier? Yes, Rebecca, I knew you might have issue with this one. So, according to the website I looked at earlier, what is the oldest animal species? And the website I looked at earlier, if it helps anyone, was called Mom Facts, which I have discovered is a treasure trove of trivia questions. What do we think? Horseshoe crab, jellyfish, sea sponge? It is the sea sponge. By about 100 million years, apparently. That gif is making me uncomfortable. Is that not an anomine? An anemone? Anemone. That's a hard word to say. Do you mean anemone? We'll go with anomine. That's much easier to say. Why don't we rename these things? Rankings. Zenny's still in top place, even though she got that one wrong. Brian is also in top second spot. Laurie Kennedy in third spot, but all got that one wrong. Oh dear. Spiritual Reefer Harry's a big loser after the gambling question, it looks like. Question 13. Although I will say, people have come back from losing all points at the halfway point to being, I think second place was the best that they'd got so far. What member of the Avengers is seen losing his tackle in this scene from Avengers Endgame? Is that Captain America, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, or Spider-Man? You have to have been watching because it doesn't repeat it. There's a lot of tackle-based questions tonight, isn't there? I've just realised that. 13 of you going for Ant-Man, because, of course, it was Ant-Man. Question 14. What author created the character Jason Bourne, who first appeared in the 1980 novel The Bourne Identity? Was it Robert Ludlum, James Patterson, John Grisham, or Michael Connolly? Who created The Bourne Identity? Or who wrote The Bourne Identity? Starring Matt Damon. James Patterson getting the most votes. No, he was the man who made the Scottish detective guy Rebus, wasn't it? It was, in fact, Robert Ludlum. American author Robert Ludlum created the iconic character Jason Bourne, debuted in the 80s thriller novel Bourne Identity. Went on to achieve enormous success both as a book series and film franchise, starring Matt Damon as the titular character. Kate got that one, making up some ground on Brian, not far behind. Question number 15. From the Latin for horn and plenty, what word refers to this container of harvest bounty? Is that a cauldron, a cassion, a carafe, or a cornucopia? Who's going to get a cornucopia of points? Because it is indeed cornucopia. Well done. Zenny streaks nearly over 500 points ahead. She's going to really be upset with me that I've made the last question a geography question. A flags question about sports in the Ukraine. It's not really. Question 16. What number is biggest? Is it a Google, Graham's number, septillion, or a Googleplex? What number is biggest? A Google, Graham's number, septillion, or Googleplex? What have we gone for? Oh, quite an even one. So 6 for Google, 5 for Graham's number, 2 for septillion, 5 for Googleplex. The answer is, drum roll please. Graham's number. A septillion is 10 to the power of 24. A Google is a number with 100 zeros, so 10 to the power of 100. A Googleplex is a number followed by a Google of zeros. And Graham's number is a number so large it cannot be written out even with extreme resources. There you go. I imagine a resident accountant and numbers expert, Andy Zenny, will have got that one. No. No. Sorry. If it can't be written, it's not real. Oh, we go into that ethical debate over imaginary or real or imaginary or theoretical. I thought that was you just filling space. I remember watching a BBC documentary about that. A really good. I think that's what I might have watched. So the other night, I had two smoke alarms go off. Both dogs decided at 2 o'clock in the morning we were being invaded and got up and started barking everywhere. So I spent all night getting up and down, up and down. I thought, right, sod this. Stuck the telly on. Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent. When I used to work night shifts, I would come home at like 8 o'clock, and on the science channel, I would watch this science program about different things every day. But that's what I'd go to bed to. When I worked night shift, I'd watch the science channel, and there was this show. I can't remember the name of it. And I was up in the middle of the night the other night, and I stuck it on, and it was that show, and I was like, oh, I used to love this show. I stuck it on, and they were talking about Graham's number and big numbers and how we come up with the names for them and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I digress. Question 17. Who did England beat to win the Women's Rugby World Cup for a third time? Was it South Africa, France, Canada, or New Zealand? For beer number 3 tonight, we're going for Salts Drip DDH. Double dry hops, does that mean? I can never remember. DDH NEPA. New England India Pale Ale. Too many acronyms in beer these days. What's this all about? We don't need that. More sports ball. Woo! Yes, but it's women's sports ball, so I'm like being equal opportunities. So we seem pretty sure it's either France or Canada. Canada is the answer. Brian knew, Error404 knew, Stevie P knew, or guessed correctly. Question number 18. Which horror movie franchise features the character of Jason Voorhees? Is it Friday the 13th, Scream, A Nightmare on Elm Street, or Halloween? Tasty. Yes, October, the month of Halloween-based questions. Oh, most of you think it's Friday the 13th. Oh. I got... No, it is. Friday the 13th is Jason Voorhees. For a minute there, I was like, Halloween, that mask, that's Jason, isn't it? But no, it's Hockey Mask Jason. What's the Halloween guy called? Michael Myers, that's it. Friday the 13th is one of the most successful horror film franchises, and Jason Voorhees has become one of the most recognisable of all the slasher villains. Interestingly, I'll be the judge of that, Jason didn't originally appear as the notable killer in the first Friday the 13th movie released in 1980. It was his mother. Yeah. Zenny remains on top with a sizable lead. What's the nightmare guy? Freddy. Freddy? Have I just made that up? No. I can remember the name of the actor, Robert Englund. With the hands, knives for fingers, knives for fingers. Freddy something. I so want to say Freddie Mercury, but it cannot be Freddie Mercury. Michael Myers thing that's thrown me off. Freddy Krueger. Thank you, Brian. Freddy Krueger. And Fish Vet. Hello. It is indeed Freddy Krueger. Right. Penultimate question time. Question 19. In Greek mythology, Jason and his crew of Argonauts embark on a quest to retrieve the golden what? Is it the golden hind, the golden chalice, the golden compass, or the golden fleece? Who's that actor that plays Freddy Krueger? It's Robert Englund. There's Del with some Friday the 13th facts. Spitting Friday the 13th facts for us. In Greek mythology, Jason and his crew of Argonauts. And this is, again, a childhood classic for me. Jason and the Argonauts was one of... I loved that film. Ridiculous as it was. You all think it's the Golden Fleece. It is the Golden Fleece. Right. Oh, Zenny missed out on that one, allowing Brian to gain 80 important points. Right, are we ready for the final question? Remember, this is another gambling question. If you don't gamble, you can neither lose nor win points. So it's up to you, however many you want to gamble. Here we go. Here is your cryptic clue. Unpronounceable foods. Unpronounceable foods. I've immediately forgotten how this is properly pronounced, so I'm probably going to pronounce it incorrectly. In what continent was the protein-rich pseudo-cereal quinoa first cultivated? Or the food that for a good couple of years I called quinoa. Quinoa, I believe, is the proper pronunciation. Where does quinoa come from? Is it Africa, Asia, South America, or Australia? Quinoa. Yeah, I kind of got it right. That's like Oaxaca from earlier. Right. Let's see. What did we think? One person. Imagine you were the one person that got that right and everybody else gambled 100%. Lost it. You'd be the winner. 4 people think it's Asia. 14 people think it's South America. One person thinks it's Australia. Sorry for the accent. The correct answer is... South America. With its edible seeds eaten like a grain, the gluten-free pseudo-cereal we all know as quinoa originated in the Andes of South America. The seeds are high in protein, dietary fiber, vitamin B, and dietary minerals. Now you know. So, what has that done to the scores? I was a bit premature with the drum roll there. Your winners are in third place, PvP, with 2,464 points. In second place, it's Error 404 with 2,512. And in first place, your winner is Zenny with 3,331 points. Stunning victory, and what a lead to take into the first week of no prize October quizzing. I hope you watched last week's replay. You understand why there's no prize now. But the no prize was a bit of a... We might still give away prizes. You never know. I wasn't great at giving away prizes even when it was a prize bingo. But the player export, okay, done that. I'm going to do a bit of live spreadsheeting. Everybody's favourite. Where did it go? Too many screens. Okay, Excel's playing up. It's not working, but you all know who's going to be in the top 10 this month. It's going to be Zenny, Error404, Stevie P, Kate, Laurie Carey Day, Jack Tank, Mona Lee, Mr. Swimmer, Doug, and John will make up your top 10 this week. I will post in Discord the link to the scoreboard once I finally get around to it, but yeah, for some reason it's not working. I wonder if I can do it this way. Give me a second. I will do. Quiz September 25. Why won't you open? There, it is open. Right. So we want to, I should really do this beforehand rather than making you all sit through this. Week 2, delete, week 3. Four. Right, so week 1. Fine, we're good. So we're going to call this October, because it's October. And we're going to take the export of the player rankings. We're going to open that up. And I'll show you what I'm doing so as you know I'm not cheating you. I'm going to delete that row. We're going to copy that. I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to put that into week 1. Like so. So therefore, the October standings, as we said, Zenny in first place, Error404, Stevie P, Kate, Laurie Carey Day, Jack Tank, Mona Lee, Mr. Swimmer, Doug, and John make up your top 10. Good old participant name getting 0 points. Right, okay, let's get rid of all that now so we don't need that anymore. And back to my lovely shining face. Congrats to the winner, says Mary. Mary, where have you been? You're usually here giving us questions, one answer behind all the other ones. Tipping the table, spitting the dummy, and where did you end up, Brian? Surely you were in the top 3. Oh no, Brian with 0 points. Did you lose it all? Oh no. Oh no. I even got beat by Lisa. God, you got upset when I say even Brian's got points, so God, don't be mean to Lisa. I think Fluval should do the prizes. They seem on top of every YouTuber. Well, it's funny you should say that. So those of you who are new here, Fluval is sponsoring my big 100,000 subscriber giveaway. So hopefully in the next few weeks I will cross that line and Fluval have very generously donated one of their Fluval Flex 2.0 aquariums. Which, even if they weren't giving me one for free, I really looking forward to seeing this because everybody seems to be really impressed with the Fluval Flex 2.0s. So there will be one given away to one of you guys just for doing something probably as simple as commenting on a video or something like that. I was looking at Fish Fam Link earlier to see whether or not they do giveaways, and there is a giveaway thing on there. How reliable is that to people who have used it before? So I think what we might do is the live stream after I get over 100,000 subscribers will be the giveaway live stream. And there's going to be stuff for everyone. So if you are in America or Australia or whatever, there'll be things you can win. They might be digital or like merch and things like that that I can get posted to you easily. But in the UK, the top prize will be a Fluval Flex 2.0. So, you know, go and watch all my videos and look out for more information on that announcement. The wheel is what Stevie P uses every week. Yeah, I thought that's what that was. And that is it reliable? Is it quite, you happy with it? I noticed some of the in-play games were mostly Stevie P using it, so good. Digital prizes are fine with me. Yeah, so there's going to be all manner of things I'm going to be giving away as a big splurge to say thank you for getting me over that arbitrary line of 100,000 subscribers. So does it matter if I have 95,000 or does it matter if I have 105,000? Absolutely. It's imperative I get 100,000. No, it'll be really nice to have a plaque. I want to get it up there and have it as a plaque of honor for all you guys that have supported me for all these years, and it's really appreciated. So I want to give something back to everyone who's watched all my videos, put up with all my really piss poor attempts at professional live streaming. As I say, a way to say thank you for you, all of you. I'm going to be giving away all my Temu crap that I've accumulated over the years. We'll have stickers, we'll have t-shirts, we'll have towels, we'll have all kinds of things. More announcements to follow, let's say. I haven't quite got everything yet, so we'll see. But there should be some good stuff. Yes, it's a good wheel, right? That can be the mechanism we'll use. So come along to the live streams. That'll be how we'll be giving things away. So far seems good. Lots of other people use it too. He just asked Matt to make some things easier since they use it all the time. Fair enough. Brian says, I was back home in Scotland visiting my mum, sister and brother and meeting my 5-day-old niece. It just took him 3 months. I think he walked. Brian says, I've got a Fluval Flex 1 I could do with a 2. Well, the 2 apparently is community-led upgrades. So all the things people moaned about on the 1, or not moaned about, asked for, oh, I wish it did this. Apparently they've implemented on the 2. So it should be good. Gee, I'd love you to check out my MakerWorld 3D objects, and I'd love to see your 3D objects. I'm at MakerWorld at ME3D Print. You know what? We can have a look at that. Bloody thing. So how do we search? Do we search by your name? ME3D. No. ME3D Print. Is it that one? ME3D Printer? No. I have to copy it exactly. No, obviously don't know how to use this. ME3D print. There we go. Is this you? Risers for small aquarium. I think that might be you. LED 3mm glass aquarium frame. Substrate spatula. Oh, I like your multi-board things. So as you can see behind, well, maybe you can't see, but this is all 3D printed pegboards and stuff that I've got on there. I really should set up I should set up a proper account and put on my 3D prints. I've made some of my designs public so people could download them, but I always think they're quite niche. Like how many people need a box to encapsulate, for instance. That is a box that hides a pump so as it doesn't suck small fish into it that feeds these filters. I must be able to count on one hand the amount of people that'll be useful for. I don't know. But I will check it out. I'll maybe print off some of those things. I use 3D stuff. 3D printing. In fact, I'll show you some of them. So I'm getting quite obsessive about the speed things take to print. So for instance, my latest print is these the little risers that go on the end of your tank for strip lights. So whether you've got like an iCrew light or a Aquarium, whatever, because I'm now an aquascaper, professional aquascaper, I wanted to have an aquascape that came out of the water, so the strip light just sitting on top of the tank was like getting in the way of that. Now, I know you can get all the gooseneck ones and all that, but, you know, I haven't got any of that fancy stuff yet. So I printed a bunch of these at different heights that will raise the light so that much above the tank. The next ones raise them that much, and it's got some that raise them that much. So they're just, yeah, little risers. And this is what I love about 3D printing is that took an hour. The design, print, refine, reprint in less than an hour. Just because it's nice and frugal. It doesn't waste. So there's no point in having anything in here. So stuff like that. I just like printing. Somebody has just subscribed. There's a lot of aqua objects. There is. I have made use of a lot of them. I need one of those pump boxes, but it needs to be shrimp safe, not just small fish. Well, yeah, I can make one with even smaller holes. Is there a quick drying print? Well, most of them are like, as soon as they're printed, they're ready to use. So they come off like this. They might be a bit warm, but they're dry. They're ready to go straight away. Just offhand, I've got so many, like these lights here. They are 3D printed brackets that are holding up these floodlights above Brian's tank. These are version 1 of those brackets. So they sit on the tank like this. No, I think they sit on the tank like this. So I printed them to exactly the same size as the thickness of the glass. And then the light sits in here. I decided rather than make them sit on the glass, I'll just hang them off the wall. That'll be a lot easier. A microphone handle for my Rode. So this is the microphone I use when I record on almost all my videos. I usually have it clipped to my chest or something like that. But as I was going down to Aqua and had big plans to interview lots of people, I thought, I know, I'll create a thing. So it can be like a professional, hello, this is Graham from Aquarium Adventures. Who are you? Oh, very interesting. Goodbye. So it's just like normally something you'd have to search around to buy, to source, whatever. I'm like, no, I'll just print it. And all my prints are done on Tinkercad, which is like the most basic of basic design software. Right. Is anybody still here? Are we all bored of me yet? No, some people are still here. So you're ready for the Eliminator, because that's the final quiz of the evening. Has anyone heard of? Has anyone heard of The Price is Right? Let me know in chat if you know what The Price is Right is. Nothing to prepare, not in this game, etc. Because if you know what that means, then you might get this game. I use FreeCAD, but it's such a faff. I've not used FreeCAD. I used the free Fusion 360. I've used Fusion 360 to make some. I printed loads of vases and things like that, and I learned Fusion 360 because they can do the twisty thing with them. There was a bit of a learning curve, but I kind of got there with that. But I just find that Tinkercad is just so straightforward and easy that pretty much anything I can get a decent print out of it. Yep, I have. Remember that. Okay, so we know The Price is Right with the Brucey bonuses and all that kind of stuff. Or Bob Barker if you're in the US, of course. Brian got all 10 correct on the Eliminator last week. Ah, on catch-up. Sure. I'm kidding. Can you 3D print fish for your time? You can. I have given away 3D printed fish as prizes. I'm looking for some examples around here because I usually have a couple kicking about. I had a nice line of plecos that had like hidden eggs inside them. They were pretty cool. Right, so this week's Eliminator is called Bigger or Smaller. So, much like the Bruce Forsyth games of the past, where it's nothing in this pair, nothing in this game, not for a pair, you're going to be given something and it's going to be fishy related, and you have to tell me whether the next thing is going to be bigger or smaller than that fish. Does that make sense? The first couple are going to be obvious. So let me say that in question 1 and question 2, I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to get you used to the format of the game. So the first question might be a really small thing. So the answer will be bigger. There, I'm giving you the answer to question 1 is bigger, because it will be bigger. So hopefully you will understand that. That makes any sense at all. Let me copy the link and put it in there. Drew Carey ran it for a few years. I don't have a TV anymore. So in this country, The Price is Right is Bruce Forsyth. That's the only thing that makes any sense whatsoever. It's not The Price is Right, actually. It's... No, it's not The Price is Right, because that's higher or lower with the prices. How much does this thing cost? Oh, what an idiot. What's the name of the game? Play your cards right. That's it, Brian. So, ignore everything I've just said. Has anyone seen Play Your Cards Right? I mean, it's very similar. So, this is Play Your Cards Right, where Bruce Forsyth, who's this gentleman here, who is as yet not been discovered as a paedophile, but you know, fine. He has a big board where he puts up cards, and you have to guess whether the next card is going to be higher or lower than that card. So he might pull out a 6, and you have to guess, is it going to be higher or lower than the 6? And the audience would go ape shit for this. And like, higher, 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 lower. That's it. Is the next thing going to be bigger or smaller? That's my version of this game. Is the next thing going to be bigger or smaller than the previous thing? So that's all you need to know. We've got 12 of you that are interested in playing this game. Nothing in a pair, not in this game. Exactly. Graham, wow. Yeah, I know. I got carried away with The Price is Right. It's not The Price is Right. It's Play Your Cards Right, which is similar. Similar. So, are we ready to play the Eliminator, bigger or smaller? If you like scanning the scanny things, here is the scanny thing. Do I remember the Generation game? I do remember the Generation game. But like the second iteration of it. Do you remember there was one with Paul Daniels where Paul Daniels was game show host. What was the name of that? It's my aunt and uncle were on that show and they won it. They had to choose the prizes. Yeah, for the Generation game is also the cuddly toy, teddy bear, blender. Right, we've got 16 of you in for the Eliminator. Remember, If you get out, you get to carry on. That's fine. If nobody makes it all the way to the end, then whoever gets the most correct answers will be the winner. You think it was called card sharks in the US? Ah, interesting. What if it's the same card, different suit? Right, it's not actually cards. It's just similar to that game. But in that game, the suits didn't matter. So if you had an ace of hearts and the next one out was an ace of clubs, you lost because there's nothing for a pair. Not in this game. That was the big catchphrase. So you didn't want a pair. Right, we're ready to go. I think we can try this. Let's have a go. Start the countdown. 10 seconds to go. So the first question should be easier. So it's going to ask you a question. The question will relate to the next question. So will the next thing be bigger or smaller than a cherry shrimp? That is your question. Will the next thing out be bigger or smaller than a cherry shrimp? What do you think? Exciting. Oh. Higher, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. Will the next thing be bigger or smaller than a cherry shrimp? It's going to be bigger. Everyone go bigger. This isn't a test. Everything will be big. Someone's bent smaller. I specifically said it will definitely be bigger. Oh, Rebecca's found me out. Is this guessing? Yes, this is essentially guessing. Is the next thing that I've thought of bigger or smaller than this? So, even though I said the first thing will be cherry shrimp and it will definitely be bigger, somebody didn't believe me. But in fact, you're right, it's bigger. The thing that is next is whale shark, which is definitely bigger than a cherry shrimp. So all these things, everybody's still in, except for, let me see if I can call out the person who was eliminated. Fat Kids Win at Seesaw. Wasn't listening. But everyone else is still in. So, you're about to see Every Second Counts. That was the one, Dell. Yeah, Every Second Counts. I need to see if I can find that on YouTube or something, because I'm going to go up to Scotland next week. Show them that. Simon says, I just logged in and panicked. That's all right. So you're about to see the next one, and the answer is, will the next thing be bigger or smaller than a whale shark? Now, I'm going to give you a clue. I did say for the first two questions, it's not a trick. It's probably going to be smaller. So question 2, is it bigger or smaller than a whale shark? So is the next thing going to be bigger or... Pretend I'm holding up cards. Is the next thing going to be bigger or smaller than a whale shark? Oh, and I want you all at home to be screaming, bigger, smaller, bigger, bigger, smaller, bigger. Someone's gone bigger. That has to be Simon, surely. So is the next thing bigger or smaller than a whale shark? The next thing is a neon tetra. So it is smaller. So 94% of you answered correctly that it was smaller than a whale shark. So all these people are correct. Someone else has been eliminated. Let's shame them. Error 404 has been eliminated. Everyone else is still in. Right, now you're on your own. So now is the next thing bigger or smaller than a neon tetra? So have I been sneaky and I've put in an ember, an endler, or a chili rasbora, or have I gone for an Oscar? You know what I mean? Right, so you're on your own now. And yes, this is essentially just guessing. Good luck. Question 3. Bigger or smaller than a neon tetra? What do you think? And when I say bigger or smaller, we're going for average size. So if it's close and there could be a bit of crossover, it's average size. But there shouldn't be any that's that close. So bigger or smaller than a neon tetra? What do we think? Oh, almost everyone's gone bigger than a neon tetra. You're correct, because the next one is a peacock bass. Well done, everyone. Good guessing. Epic forethought of how my mind works. But all these people are still in. So the next question is, will the next thing be bigger or smaller than a peacock bass? What do we think? Bigger or smaller than a peacock bass? Now, I could go like Goliath grouper, or great white shark, or tuna, or it could be guppy, Sterbai corridoris. Who knows? What do you think? Is it bigger or smaller than a peacock bass? You think... Oh, 14 people have gone smaller. It is... smaller! Well done. It's a silver dollar. Silver dollar. All these people... Are you having fun? That's all I need to know. Are you having fun? All these people still in. Is it bigger or smaller than a silver dollar? I know that's not a silver dollar, it's a whale shark. I forgot to change that picture. But is it bigger or smaller than a silver dollar? The next one. Not a whale shark. Bigger or smaller than a silver dollar? What do we think? If you've lost and you're already out, keep playing, because you never know. You might get it all right from now on in. Oh, this one's a bit more even. Bigger or smaller than a silver dollar? Oh, and I didn't know it. It is smaller, because it's a Bosmani rainbow fish. Ooh. I think we should have more applause. A bit less. Question 6. Is it bigger or smaller than a rainbow fish? Bigger or smaller than a rainbow fish? Oh, it could be, who knows, a pea puffer. A coolie loach. Discus. Ooh. Fairly even, but it is in fact smaller. I was thinking of a coolie loach. Who have we still getting? Oh, we've only got one person left in with all 5 correct. We're down to the final one. Elaine is our only remaining participant. So this could come down to somebody getting 2 or 3 wrong being the winner. So, Elaine, just me and you now, Elaine. Is a coolie loach bigger or smaller? And the next thing. Is the next thing bigger or smaller than a coolie loach? I mean, most things are bigger than a coolie loach, but is everything bigger than a coolie loach? How evil am I? Most of you have gone for it's bigger than a coolie loach. Most of you are correct, because it was an Oscar. Is Elaine still in? Elaine's still in. I'm getting excited now. It's exciting stuff. Question number 8. Is it bigger or smaller than an Oscar? Bigger or smaller than an Oscar? What could it be? I mean, I'm finding it hard to find new ways to say there are things that are bigger than it, and there are things that are smaller than it. So, as Rebecca so expertly pointed out earlier, this is a guessing game. Is it bigger or smaller than an Oscar? What do we think? Ooh, almost 50-50. Is it bigger or smaller than an Oscar? It is bigger than an Oscar. It's a giant Grammy. That's what I was thinking of. Is Elaine still in? Oh, will we ever find out? We will. Elaine is still in. John and Brian are somehow back in again. I think because you must have got that one right. If I look at the rankings, Elaine has answered 7 out of 8 correctly, as have John and Brian. Oh, right. Okay. So you're all at 70% correct so far. So, question 8. Is it bigger or smaller than a giant gourami? Bigger or smaller than a giant gourami? Either way, the Oscar will try and eat it. I'm guessing Graham done this kind of about his fish room. Well, I think so far I've had most of the fish other than whale shark. So, is it bigger or smaller than a giant gourami? Oh, most people are going for smaller. I mean, there are many, many fish bigger. But it was smaller. I was thinking of discus. John, Elaine, and Brian all still with 8 out of 9 questions answered correctly. And we go into the final question. Is it bigger or smaller than a discus? Is the last thing bigger or smaller than a discus? What do you think? Rebecca says it's not really a low chance of winning. Maybe with a bit of, there's no judgment whatsoever involved. This is pure guesswork, 100% guessing, unless you have a camera and saw me write these earlier. Bigger or smaller than a discus? You think it's smaller, but it is in fact bigger. I was thinking of a flower horn. So, what does that mean? In third place, we have Applegal with 8 questions answered correctly. In second place, we have John with 8 questions answered correctly. And in first place, Family Man with 8 questions answered correctly. So that was actually Family Man, John, Applegal, Elaine, and Brian all answered 8 questions correctly. But Elaine and Brian were a little bit slower than the others. So you only got 8 out of 10. So well done. But no prizes for you. Fix. It was not a fix. It was totally normal way to end the competition. So, what do you think about the totally random nature of that competition? I thought that was quite fun. I've just deleted it. Oh no, we're okay. It's a bit of a laugh. That's all it was. I'm getting penalized. For being slow? Yeah. Sorry. You have to be fast if you want to win in this game. I mean, it is guessing. What more do you want? So, as we think about turning things down and off, I want to remind you that I'm about to embark on a quest to be an aquascaper, so I'm interested in your feedback. If you haven't commented on the video, or even if you have, if you wouldn't mind commenting on the replay to say what your definition of an aquascaper is, so as I know when I've met that definition, I can say, I'm an aquascaper. Ultimately, what I want to do is say, I'm an aquascaper. No, what I ultimately want to do is to be paid to fly around the world doing aquascapes at shows and things. But but before that, I'll just have a go at practicing some aquascaping. If you have any input on, or just advice or questions or things you are interested in within that niche or genre, like, oh, I'd like to know how to set up a dojo, or what kind of rocks to use, or any of those things. What is interesting to you in the world of aquascaping that maybe someone else hasn't covered? We can look at that, because I will be coming at this from the point of the enthusiastic amateur rather than the complete novice. Someone who's kind of had a go at it, kind of understands it a little bit, but I want to take that next step, and I don't know what the next step is. So there will be a video about me acting clueless, and I won't be a hard act because I am quite clueless about how to immerse myself in this world and what it means, how I know how I know I am an aquascaper. Do I need a title? What, all these things. So that'll be kind of how I start off, and then it'll be a lot of, maybe I'll try and enter myself in some competitions. Maybe I'll try and do some demonstrations. Maybe I'll see if I can get some fish shops to let me hold a workshop. Maybe all these kind of things. What would be good to see? That would be interesting to know. Other than that, I will be continuing to make videos. I don't know if anyone saw the video I put out this week. I've been trying to embrace social media a little bit more. So again, from Aqua, talking to all the other creators, they're like, oh, how many Instagram posts a week do you put out? And I'm like, none. Oh, right. What about TikToks? None. So you might have noticed that I've put out a bunch of Instagram posts, a bunch of TikToks, a bunch of Facebook posts, a few extra shorts and things like that. So I've tried for the last 2 weeks to make a little bit of a difference. And even in this short amount of time, my views have gone up markedly. So I'm like, oh, it worked. So what I'm interested in is anyone pissed off by this? Have I alienated anyone by doing the silly TikTok posts, by doing extra shorts, or do you not care? And by do you not care is I don't watch the shorts, and that's fine, continue doing them. I only watch your long form ones, and that's fine, continue doing them. Or I keep seeing your face everywhere, it's annoying, stop doing that. So that would be interesting feedback. And the final bit is I tried to make a different style of video this week. So you might have noticed the Brian video was more of a story. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end. It was a thing. So rather than just, hello, I'm doing a thing this week, let's point a camera at it while I do it. It was more of a thought out. It was a lot more edited. It was a lot more... I wager 90% of you didn't notice any of these things, but there was a lot more little sound effects, cuts, jump cuts, J cuts, L cuts, music, beats matched, all these weird little things that took loads of time, but didn't make any difference to most people, probably. But I really enjoyed doing that. That was one of my favourite things this week, was actually putting in a bit of effort. And for the first 3 days, that video was my 1 of 10. And I was like, oh my God, it does work. And as soon as I told somebody, oh, I put loads of effort into that and it really worked, it's my 1 of 10, let me show you. It changed to 5 of 10. I was like, oh, bang average. Brilliant. But I'm going to start mixing in more of the thought out, planned videos with the vloggy style. Here's the thing, I'm doing the thing. Watch me do the thing. You're going to get a whole new sort of different things. So what would be interesting is if you see any of that new content or old content, if you see any of my content, I'd love it if you commented on it and said, even if you said, Graham, this is cringe, stop doing this, oh, it's horrible. That's good feedback and I accept it. So I won't get upset with you. You won't become dickhead comment of the week necessarily, unless you're a dickhead. But I'm interested in the feedback. I'd like to say that. Social media is the work almost, so I understand either way. TikTok are trying to avoid fish content. And that's the thing. There's like, I can do whatever I want, but if somebody dislikes Instagram, I'm never going to reach them on Instagram, and that's fine. But 2 weeks of using Instagram, I've had I think 4 or 5 comments of, oh, I've come from Instagram. I saw your post on Instagram and I've come to check out your videos. So if 4 people have commented that, that means 10 times that many have come along but not commented. So it's actually worked. So me putting stupid things on Instagram or TikTok has made people come and see my videos. So it seems to be working. I've kind of doubled my views this month, which is amazing, by putting in a little bit of effort. So God knows what happens if I put in a lot of effort. Never know. I like the Brian video. It helps keep new followers up to date on your story. Oh, thank you. I like that too. I like the sound effects, the glass tapping, and Steve gave me a serotonin boost every time. Don't push yourself too much for the amount of content and don't risk burnout. And you know what? That is a legitimate concern because I talk to a lot of people at Aqua and since about various things, many who I am a much bigger creator than, and many who I am a much smaller creator than. And I always come back to the fact that I am who I am. Whatever size I would be, the Aquarium Adventures channel exists because I make things I can make. I don't push it to the point where it's like, oh God, I can't do this. It's normally, as I said earlier, it's normally me pointing a video at myself, doing the things I had to do anyway, and I try and have a bit of a laugh, and it maybe takes me 10% longer to film it, and it's easy, it's straightforward, it fits into my schedule, and that makes me who I am. That makes me, I've been able to do that for 11 years now, because I passed my 11-year anniversary, and any success I've got is longevity. I've never really had a viral video. I've never really had super educational content. I've never really had super entertaining content. It's just been, hello, it's me. Watch me do this thing. Every now and again, I'll say something insightful. Every now and again, I'll say something interesting. But you really have to be invested in the channel to catch these things. Whereas what I've been trying to do recently is plan of it. So I've never scripted a video until I came to the Brian video. That was the only video I've ever scripted. And I must have recorded that 4 or 5 times because every time I recorded it, it was like, this is Brian. What am I? Don't warble. I talk to hundreds of thousands of people every day. In real life, I talk to hundreds of people every day. I do public speaking all the time. It's fine. It's not a thing I'm interested in. But reading from a script makes me sound like a bit of a robot. So that's something I need to get better at. But the Brian video is the first video I've ever scripted. It's the first video I've ever done like a shot list. It's the first video I've ever edited more than twice. It's the first video I've ever tried. I've never tried to make a video. I've never, and by try, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. It's, I've like gone over it again and again to make sure I was cutting out all the stuff. And even then, there was loads of buzzing in it. And I was like, oh, I left in one track that I meant to cut out. But anyway, a week after doing that, it's not made that much of a difference. But the first 2 days, that performed better than any video I've ever made. On the third day, all my other videos had caught up with it. So maybe it doesn't make a difference, but I'm going to throw in 1 or 2 of those videos a month because, like Rebecca says, don't risk the burnout. That is it's a channel killing thing. I've seen so many people over the years, because I've been doing this for 11 years now. I've had this channel. I've made videos consistently for 11 years, and that's why I'm almost at 100,000 subscribers. I'm not saying anything super insightful. I'm not saying anything super educational. I'm not super dynamic. I'm just always here. And that's kind of my thing. It's not a sexy way to grow a channel. It's not a cool way to grow a channel. It's really quite boring. Yeah, I'm still here. Can't get rid of me. Haha. I'm not putting loads of effort into high energy videos and then it being unsustainable and crashing and burning. I'm just like, it's me again. I'm here with another thing. Because most of my videos are about my hobby, and it's easy to make a video about something you're already into rather than digging up something interesting about it. But the story videos about Brian, or some I've got others planned with the Peacock Bass and how Megatank, why I wanted to make Megatank. I've got others planned with the aquascaping thing and why that might be a thing to do. But there will still be other ones of, oh, I'm going to have to do a load of water changes. What it's like changing water on a 5,000 litre tank. There's going to be a bit of a mix about it. Why am I talking about this? Burnout. I'm acutely aware that most channels fail because they can't be arsed anymore. And normally it's because you can't be arsed anymore because it's the risk, not the risk reward, the effort to reward ratio. That if you start putting in more effort than the reward you're getting out of it, it's just not worth it. I've always tried to put in as much effort as I'm willing to put in without getting anything back. So always assume I'm not going to get anything back from it. I assume my every video will bomb, but I've enjoyed it. Or 3 people have left a comment that said, cool discus, or Brian's ace, or, something along those lines. That's enough for me. It doesn't have to make me 200 quid, that video. I'm starting to get to the size where I'm starting to think about those kind of things, and should that worry me? And it's the whole ego thing and the big-headed thing of, if I've got 100,000 subscribers, is this time to make this my full-time job? 100% the answer is no. But I'm kind of in the ballpark of the area of thinking that maybe it could one day. And should I go to the dark side and do all the things that you need to do to make popular videos and alienate everyone that's helped me to get here? So, there's loads of different conflicting thoughts in my head going on. And while I am gainfully employed, I don't need to think about those things, but it kind of is a dream to be able to just keep fish for a living and film it. So I don't know. That's all I can think of. Anyway, let's see what we're doing. Scripts are actually really good. I use them for public speaking if it needs to be concise. Scripts are good for, so when I do public speaking, it's usually to a board or to, every now and again, it'll be like a town hall type thing, or maybe a design review or something along those lines. So I'll know what the audience is and what they want. 9 times out of 10, I'll do it off the cuff, and the most I'll ever do is bullet points, and I'll have like a bullet point list on a bit of paper where I can just check I'm still on the topic that I'm on about. I've never trained for it. I understand people hate that kind of thing, and it's hard for loads of people. It's just, if I've ever had a natural skill, it's talking bollocks at length. I seem to be quite entertaining at talking bollocks, and I can usually convey whatever message it is I'm trying to convey. I don't think it necessarily carries over to YouTube. I think that is something that only works when I can see the eyes and the faces of other people. Because when I try and do it on YouTube, I'm talking to myself, and it's a little bit different of then. And then when I tried to do the scripted video, it almost like it didn't work for talking to myself. So I was like, This is Brian. Brian is a giant gourami. That is a type of fish. That type of fish is a big fish. I got this fish a long time ago. And then I'm like, oh, what are you saying, you complete mumbling idiot? Whereas, all that about? Did you hear that? I think he might have been trying to get another wasp. It's different skills on different things. Just followed you on Instagram. Yes. If you go and check my links in the description, you'll find all my things, I'm sure. Public speaking, improvisation is maybe more important. Potentially, yeah. Yeah. It's useful, yeah. I thought that video was brilliant. It's a good sign if it grew suddenly in the first 2 days. I think that's a positivity. Yeah. And it's interesting. It was just different. To get different feedback from doing a different thing is interesting. Because I say this all the time, that fish keeping is my hobby. YouTube is my hobby. So I love thinking about how's the algorithm working. So if you've gone on my Discord today, we've been having loads of back and forth about how the algorithm works and whether it's fair or not fair and all that kind of thing. And I've been all over that. So I love that kind of thing. And I've been trying to work out, what does it mean? I got loads of new views in the first 2 days, and then it dropped off. Is that because loads of people that already watch my videos didn't bother that one because they didn't like it, but loads of new people did? And are they going to watch the next one? Oh, that'll be exciting. Oh, so, it's trying to figure out what these things are. I am a YouTube anomaly. I don't fit into any bucket or basket. I am brilliant at getting subscribers, but my subscribers only watch one video. So, like, this last month, I've had 5,000 new subscribers. And yes, I've had 5,000 more views. But where's the other 90,000? Why are they not watching anything? I don't. So you would never expect all your subscribers to watch all your videos. But I am consistently growing in subscribers, but my views are not consistently growing at the same rate. So clearly, people are going, oh, what's this guy? That's a fun video. I'll click subscribe. He's got another video. Nah, no thanks. I'm like, pull hair out. What? How's that happening? So I love that though, because I'm trying to figure out, and it's like trying to unpick a thing. Oh, who knows? Live feed, you're doing really well. So my live feeds are, I mean, it's funny. This is live stream 243 or something. Yeah, in fact, let me see. 233. And at peak concurrency, I had 72 viewers. When I had done 10 live streams, I was easily getting 150 viewers. So my first few live streams, way over 100 was my average. And ever since then, it's been like a downhill spiral. It's starting to come back up again. But that's what I mean about the burnout. You have to do something that you don't mind doing for no gain. Otherwise, you'd give up. And that is why most people give up, because they're going, I'm not getting anything out of this, so I'm not, well, screw that. Why am I doing this for 2 hours every Friday night? I'm doing this for 2 hours every night because I enjoy it. I like spending time with you guys. When I was getting 150 viewers every live stream, it was because we were in lockdown and there was nowhere else to go. I had a captive audience. So it kind of makes sense that I have fewer now. And I'm not so bothered by the numbers that I'm like, oh, why is only 50 people turned up to watch this? This is terrible. There's no point in doing it. Imagine that in real life. There are like gigging comedians or whatever doing gigs at pubs. If 50 people turned up, they'd be over the moon. I'm amazed that 50 of you bother. Who knows? So if you are an aspiring YouTuber or live streamer or any of those things, it's find the positive and focus on that rather than complaining. There's only 50 people here? No, there's 50 people here. Wow, cool, great. That's what you want. Or as Applegal says, you're like a cold, can't get rid of you. Yes. Partitioning your hobby also helps with burnout. Like hobby videos, Brian. Yep, all different things in your mind, and that is a thing. I am blessed that I get to work from home, and my 9 to 5 job is literally right here. So I can be doing my proper job. Oh, write important document. Oh, design important thing. All right, Brian. Need feeding? Want a thing? Oh, you look cool. Take a picture, post it on Instagram, get back to document. So it's not like it's hard. If I was a truck driver and I was away 5 days a week, I would not be able to do this. So I know that I am blessed in various ways, but I've also worked hard to get to this point. Not easy to build a fish room. I have 3 small kids. They're not that small anymore, actually. I've been saying that for a long time. I have 3 kids. I have a wife. I have a life outside of YouTube that all has to fit around all these things. And if that's why I always say, if I was to give any advice, it's make it fit in amongst all the things you want to do. Make it easy. Sometimes I feel like giving up the hobby or giving up with YouTube. Sometimes both. I mean, I would be lying if I said those things don't creep in every now and again. When I got hacked, especially, there was a part of me that was like, fuck it. Just leave it. Don't care about it. I could just let it die, go and do something else for a bit. Ah, well, that was fun while it lasted. But I do enjoy doing this. I do enjoy making films. I do enjoy the social aspect of it, the challenges. So yeah, I think it is about finding the balance, like everything. A good fish tank is in balance. A good hobby is in balance. Right, we're now half an hour over time. I'm going to scroll very quickly through. No need to worry about burnout. Maybe worry more after Mrs. Graham turns the lights and says, "Good night, Graham." Has she been commenting? Has my good lady wife been like, "Get upstairs and get to bed"? I'd never give up the hobby. But some people are giving up the hobby, YouTube or both. And I think that's also fine. People do get bored of their hobbies, get different priorities, life gets in the way, all these kind of things. Things happen. Maybe the dickhead of the week comments is having an impact sometimes. Going off track and talking about left wing politics doesn't help. Maybe. You never know. I mean, I don't think I necessarily talk about left wing politics very much. If anything, I think the dickhead comment of the weeks has a positive impact because people are less likely to leave dickheadish comments, and we could all do with that. You never know. Right. Anyway, we are. Yeah, notifications is a thing. It is a thing. We are going to knock it on the head. I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me, everyone. If I could possibly direct you to one of my previous videos. So, for instance, Dale says, is there a video of you in Aqua last week? There are several. So there's a video of my thoughts afterwards, and then there's 2 live streams of me on each of the days, Saturday and Sunday, going round Aqua, showing you the tanks, the stands, the stalls, the celebrities, the whatever it is. You can check out the 2 lives. They're only half an hour long, so it's not like it's a 6-hour live stream. But there is a catch-up video as well of I went to Aqua, I went to the biggest fish, whatever. It's on my channel. Go and check it out. It's all there and free to watch. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go and watch one of those videos. I'd love it if you went and watched those videos. There will be some live streams on from some of my fellow creators later, like Stevie P, I believe, is doing a live stream in about 3 hours' time. So you've got 3 hours to watch some of my videos. That'd be nice. Until then, thank you very much. Bye.